Hello, everyone, and welcome to PTIsles, a special holiday edition. That's why I'm wearing this ridiculous hat of the All Islanders panel discussion show. I'm Joe Bono, joined by Connor Moore and the ever stylish Brittany Sider. Guys, this is the first time we've done this after a loss. How are you holding up?
I mean, I took off my Islanders ugly holiday sweatshirt because not only is it ugly, but it's clearly bad luck. So a little sour.
Now, were you wearing the lucky Islander PJs with the now unlucky ugly sweater, or were you going PJ-less?
I didn't wear the Isles PJs tonight because I really just wanted to test out the luck of the ugly sweatshirt. It was a holiday theme.
You know what, Brittany? We already had Chad Johnson in net. We did not need you to go without the pajamas.
Blame it on me, man.
Connor, how you holding up, Al?
I'm doing all right, man. It's a digestible loss. I'll take a game like this tonight anytime.
And if we talk about the game, the Islanders come out really, really strong, have a dominating first period, the beautiful goal by Colaposo set up by John Tavares. And then the second period, they just, the ice tilted the other way, and the Canadians definitely had the better of the play in the second period. I know people are going to point at Chad Johnson. Personally, I don't think he played that badly. I think the goals that were scored, the first two especially, were not bad goals. I don't think the amount of lack of shots that he got didn't help him, especially considering he hadn't played since, I believe, December the 9th. Think about it. The first shot he saw late in the first period was the first shot he saw in play since December the 9th. I think they just ran into a very hot goaltender, and Carey Price played a great game for the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah, I mean the Islanders were skating well all night. They just weren't getting bodies in front of the net. They weren't moving Carey Price left and right. They weren't doing what you have to do to get a good goalie, to knock a good goalie off of his game, and in the end it didn't pay off.
Yeah, I mean, the Islanders outshot the Canadians 38-21. I don't think it was for a lack of getting pucks on net or anything else. And the Montreal Canadiens are an elite team and only got 21 shots on goal. So I don't think that it was necessarily a defensive breakdown or anything else. I think the fact that both teams were 0 for 2 on the power play is also a huge thing to talk about. The Islanders' power play unit has just not been what it needs to be. And when you have Chad Johnson in the net, you want to give him that little, getting a power play goal does a lot for the team. There were a ton of Habs fans in the Coliseum tonight. You really wanted to shut them up a bit. I didn't hear a ton of Islanders chants as I normally do. Things like power play goals really amp up that energy at a home game, especially when you have your backup goaltender in net. So I think they really need to get that power play moving before.
And now it's what? I think it's 1 for their last 17 over the last 6 games for the Islanders power play. We've talked so much about the penalty kill not being up to standards. Now it's really the power play that's struggling too. And you look at the start of the year and how good that power play was, and Johnny Boychuk was a big reason for it, but you don't see him getting a lot of power play time right now, Connor.
I think what it is Capuano sees Boychuk as his number one defenseman, and he doesn't want to overwork him, and rightfully so. I mean, he missed a couple of games the past few weeks. You kind of want to ease him back into the 20, 22 minutes that he plays a night. And if you have guys like Leddy and Wisniewski who can work the power play, it might not be at the same level as Boychuk, you're going to throw them on the power play and let Boychuk sit for those couple of minutes and keep him rested for even strength time.
And back to Brittany's point about how the Islanders did not, it wasn't that they played poorly this game. They actually dominated at points. And you look at the shot disparity, 38-21. They mentioned this stat in the postgame. Islanders have only allowed 60 shots over the last 3 games. You go back 7 years, that's the fewest amount for any stretch of 3 games. And you look at how poor this team played defensively leading up into this most recent 4-game winning streak. That's a great sign. You're going to lose games. You're not going to win every single game. But the fact that they continue to control the puck, control the tempo for the majority of the game, I think talks about the caliber of team they are and how they're going to play moving forward when they go to Buffalo and then Winnipeg. One thing we have to mention, guys, the New York Rangers won again today. And the New York Rangers right now have won 7 games in a row. There's been so much focus on what the Penguins are doing ahead of the Islanders. Right now, the Rangers sit just 6 points behind the Islanders and have 2 games in hand. So we talk about, and we're going to get into it a little bit later, the games they have against the Rangers later on. But it's getting tight and tighter in the Metropolitan Division. This division is probably, arguably, you could say, is the strongest one in hockey with the way the Capitals have been playing going into this Ranger game as well.
Yeah, but I think, Joe, it's also worth noting that there's a 6-point difference between the two teams, but we did just play the Blackhawks, Devils, Red Wings, and Lightning and won all 4 games. So that's 8 points right there that, had we normally we wouldn't win those 4 games. So that's 8 points. Had we dropped 2 of those games, that would be a much tighter point differential. So I think 6 points is quite a bit of room to make up when we just won 4 straight games against 4 tough.
No, without a question, the Islanders have had a very tough stretch and have obviously met that challenge head on and played extremely well against some of the top competition in the league. And now with the Sabres and the Jets, a team that beat them at the Coliseum earlier in the year, we'll see if that trend continues. Let's move on to what kind of created a little bit of controversy and paranoia, if you will, on Isles Twitter today. So sports fans are all familiar with the phrase day-to-day, but this year, more than any, at least I can remember, the term maintenance day has been used. Today we had a maintenance day for Jaro Halak, followed by an emergency call-up of Kevin Poulin, and this caused quite a hysteria on Twitter, didn't it, Britt?
Yeah, I mean, on one hand, the New York Islanders account calling it an emergency recall is not great for, you never want to see the word emergency in a tweet coming from the New York Islanders. So I think, just that word being thrown in there, I understand a little bit of hysteria, but when you're getting reassurance from Capuano and, Butch and Howie and Shannon Hogan, I believe, even tweeted out that it was a maintenance day, and Jack Capuano has made that very clear. I mean, even if it's maybe if he's tweaked some things, I mean, he's played a bunch of games in a row. We haven't seen Chad Johnson in quite a while. It's not a bad idea to start him. We're going on a 3-day break from the NHL. There's really no harm done. And honestly, I thought that the recall of Poulin would have lit a bit of a fire under Johnson. I didn't really see too much of an issue with it. So I was kind of a little bit okay with it. I kind of wanted to see Johnson.
And listen, this is the advantage of having an affiliate in Bridgeport in Connecticut, right? Because if you want to just call someone in an emergency call-up situation just because you want to avoid Halak getting any time and giving an extra rest with the 3-day break coming up for Christmas and the holidays, so be it. It's very odd, though, Connor, the fact that the Islanders call it a maintenance day, so it's not serious. It's just kind of preservation of Halak's body and, emotionally and physically, yet that qualifies for an emergency call-up. That to me kind of did not make any sense. That how is that an emergency that the guy just pretty much wanted a day off?
I think the emergency it's just the title they have to throw on it to give to the league, and just kind of not explain the situation, but kind of give reason to why it's happening. It's emergency in the fact that it's on short notice, and it was something that wasn't expected within a good amount of time. But the fans' reaction to this whole situation just baffles me, because it shows just how battered this fan base is. When Boychuk went down a couple weeks ago, it was a serious enough injury that he missed some time, but everyone thought, oh, the season's over, Boychuk's gone. Then they see Halak's gone for a maintenance day, 3 days in a row, he doesn't touch the ice. They call Poulin up. I had people tweet me, the season's done, Halak's done, what are we going to do now? So just take a breath, guys.
It's a fan base that does not know how to handle success right now and winning, and they're waiting for the other shoe to drop and for something very, very bad and unfortunate to happen. And knock on wood, to this point, it has yet to happen.
And I'm right there with them. I mean, I take it all day by day. When I hear that some bad news, I get a little angsty, but I always try to take a step back and just see it for what it is. So
I do think, though, that it's interesting to see. Not only, I mean, we know what the fan reaction would be if, knock on wood, Jaro were to go down, but it is really interesting to think about what would happen. I mean, we're in December right now, to think about, the spring coming around and Jaro having potentially some bigger, higher stakes games 2 days in a row or with 1 day off, and seeing people's reactions and actually thinking what it would be like to get to the postseason and have Chad Johnson in net and Kevin Poulin as a backup. And it's kind of a reality that hits you in the face that, goaltenders go down from time to time, and that's what we would have. So we definitely want to take this as a lesson going forward that Jaro cannot start every game. So as much as...
he cannot. I think some people were surprised, because I think some people thought They're going to push him one more game at home against the Canadians, get the long break anyway, start Johnson against a team in the bottom third of the league like the Buffalo Sabres, and try to get his confidence up that way. Again, I don't think Chad Johnson played very, very bad today. Only faced 21 shots, allowed 3. Disappointing that he allowed that third goal in. You would have liked the Islanders to get one final rush with the empty net, and he didn't give them that opportunity and able to make the save. The game was pretty much over with 1:11 left in the game. But pretty much the lesson learned today is that we should not go crazy over maintenance days and emergency call-ups. Calm down, Isles Twitter, once you see these things. Everything is just going to be okay. Moving on, so the trailer for Entourage movie dropped today. Connor, can I actually say drop for movies, or is that only for old guys like me, compact discs? Can I say the movie trailer dropped?
We'll allow it. We'll allow it.
It's always on Tuesdays, right? They always drop on Tuesdays for some reason. I'm not too sure. But anyway, we got our first glimpse of the HBO show on the big screen, and diehard Islanders fan Kevin Connolly again paid a small tribute to his favorite team. Take a look. So Connor, Kevin Connolly rocking the Islander blue T-shirt, walking down the street with the Entourage crew. He makes it a point to pretty much drop in the Islanders as much as he can. I know he had the screensaver in a previous season of Entourage. It's great to see the Islanders kind of get some recognition up on the big screen in Hollywood.
It's nice. I think I was a big Entourage fan when I was on TV, and I think in like 2 or 3 occasions he wore a shirt on episodes too, which was always nice to see. Very unexpected. But Kevin Connolly, I'd say he's one of the bigger Islander fans in Hollywood, and he certainly reps the team well. He's a supporter of the blog. I know he's a supporter of a lot of other websites dealing with the Islanders as well. It's nice to see the Islanders get their recognition on the big screen. I think in Wolf of Wall Street there's an Islanders jersey hanging up behind Jordan Belfort.
Yep, exactly.
I saw that movie in the movie theaters, and I think I just jumped out of my seat screaming. I mean that's how big. That's how big of a...
For those that have seen the movie, you would have thought there might have been some other scenes that.
Yes.
Might have evoked some passion from Connor more so than the Islanders.
That movie with your boyfriend's parents ever. Don't do it.
That's a true story. That's a biographical tale.
Yes, that is.
Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, you don't want to do that. I mean, you gotta check the rating there, Britt, before you. When they say parental guidance advised does not mean to bring your boyfriend's parents.
I mean, it wasn't my choice, but anyway, I was gonna say that I didn't watch Entourage when it was on, but I did watch 30 Rock, and one of the characters in 30 Rock is a huge Islanders fan, and he's obviously, I forget his name, but he's like the frumpy, like just hygienically not phenomenal guy who works in the back room, and he's always talking about the Islanders. And then Liz Lemon's loser boyfriend, the Beeper King, is also an Islanders fan. So we haven't done so well in the past. So I'm glad that Kevin Connolly's picking it up.
Pretty sure Lighthouse Hockey might have done something on this a while back in terms of who should be the celebrity face of the New York Islanders. And we have Kevin Connolly, obviously. There's Ralph Macchio, the Karate Kid we know, is a big Islander fan. Christy Brinkley's been known to wear the Islander jersey. Former Congressman Anthony Weiner is an Islander fan, tweeting during games talking about Chad Johnson struggling. But right now, I think Kevin Connolly is the most prominent guy. I think I would have to give the nod to him with the Karate Kid real close. I will make you guys feel young and me feel old there for a second. You know the show Growing Pains?
Yes.
I do.
Okay, so you maybe have seen it on reruns. I actually watched it when it was on television. Mike Seaver, that family lived in Long Island. Mike Seaver's bedroom had an old Islander pennant in it when he was growing up. And there's an old cartoon, probably early 1980s, Raccoons on Ice, it's real, where the main character, they have a ice hockey match at the end, and the raccoon that's skating is wearing a number 22 Islander jersey.
Hey, I'll take it.
Hey, Joe, did your AARP card come in the mail yet?
You know what? It might got lost with all the holiday cards I got. And speaking of holiday cards, real quick as I digress, I hate the fact that people are giving me all these holiday cards, and at my age, you're getting pictures of babies and dogs, and the families are bigging up, and I'm going to ultimately throw them out. Like, it's tough to throw out photos of your friends and family, like, in the garbage, with, like, your trash and, like, your food, and just stuff it and push it down to make more room. That's what I'm being forced to do.
I'm lucky enough that my Christmas cards still contain money and checks. So
Oh, really?
I'm still thankful
Yeah,
for
I'm cut off. Like
that.
9 out of 10 aunts and uncles do not give me. There's one, Aunt Paula. I know you're not watching because you don't know how to work a computer, but thank you so much for what you sent. Um, Moving on, more serious topics. So we at Isles Blog reported over a week ago that the 3 Islanders Ranger games at the Coliseum and the final regular season home game would never go on sale to the general public. There would not be individual tickets sold. Now season ticket holders were given a small window to buy the regular season finale, but those prices were raised closer to what they were in the secondary market. But that game and all 3 Ranger games are now listed as NA on the Islanders' official site and only being sold to fans that buy the new 21-game Rock the Barn package, which allows you to buy 2 tickets to 1 Ranger game and the home finale. If you call the ticket office, they'll tell you the games are sold out. But Connor, when you go on StubHub for those games, it paints a very different picture, and in my opinion, not a good one for the Islanders organization.
Yeah, I mean, you go on StubHub. I think Cheap Ticket has tickets as well, and it's entire rows for sale, which is something you don't normally see. And me and you were having this conversation yesterday. It kind of paints the picture that, and corroborates with our story that we feel like the tickets have been sold to brokers to increase their profit margin and kind of force Islander fans to go through, if they want to get tickets through the team, get season ticket packages, which I understand as a business move, but it's not keeping faith. It's not doing the right thing to your fan base, I feel, and a very Charles Wong type move.
Yeah, I mean, Britt, how do you feel it as a fan? I mean, this is a very special year at the Coliseum. You know, you and I were talking about this off the air. About this is one of the few special seasons you've really experienced. These are games that you want to go to, and you're either going to have to pay more than you should have for it. We never really have the opportunity to buy a face value ticket to see the Rangers play.
Yeah, I mean, I was, like you said, I was talking to you about this other day, but I've been to about 8 or 9 games this season already, and when I go there, I see that the majority of the fan base are young kids and people my age, mid-20s, like early 30s, and there are a bunch of people coming from Manhattan, coming from wherever they are now, traveling to see the Islanders play in the last season at Nassau Coliseum, and it's really unfortunate because people my age don't have the money to spend on a package like that. I can't afford that, and I want to be able to go. I want to be able to see them because I'm a fan who really cares, but it really doesn't help the image of the franchise, as you said, and as of the organization.
And here's what bothers me more than anything. This is a year, Islanders had their 8th sellout tonight against the Montreal Canadiens. This is a year where the Islander fans would pack the Nassau Coliseum against the Rangers, where it would be 80-20, I believe, in that arena, in the Coliseum. Now, because so many tickets, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, are now on StubHub, and we know there are a good amount of Ranger fans on Long Island, there's a greater chance that Ranger fans get into the Coliseum for those games and create a closer 60-40 majority for the Islanders. And to me, if you look at what's going on, you look at the amount of rows that are available, the amount of seats together available, all priced exactly the same, to me it's either a broker or the team themselves saying, we know that we can't sell these tickets. We could sell these tickets at face value for $40, or we can put them directly on StubHub and charge $95 to $100 and double our money. And unfortunately, that looks like it's happening. Listen, other teams have done it in the past. The Yankees have been accused of doing similar things, but usually not in games that are going to sell out. Usually games where there's a lot of quantity available, and they put them out there at lower prices, actually, so fans buy those tickets and don't redistribute tickets that have already been bought. Listen, if you want to go to these games, there's ways to go. Unfortunately, though, it looks like you're going to have to pay a lot of money on StubHub, probably in the neighborhood of over $100 to sit in, QRST, and if you've been in those seats, you know you can't see the scoreboard when you stand up, or even when you're sitting down. So that's what you're looking at just to get in the building, it looks like, for those games. And I think it's unfortunate that it's come to that. But we'll see. I understand it from a business perspective. I don't like it from a fan perspective. Yep. Before we wrap up here, obviously the holiday season, and regardless of what you're celebrating this holiday season, it most likely involves receiving a present. So my question is, and we'll start with Connor, if there was one Islanders-related gift you can get this holiday season, what would it be?
When you first brought this up pre-show, I think it took me no more than 3 seconds for it to pop in my brain. An away white number 21 Maurice Tchaikovsky jersey.
I have one at home.
Do
What?
you? Oh,
Yep.
I might have to buy that off you.
Wait, time out here. 'Cause
Mariusz
listen, this is
Tchaikovsky.
brand new to me. Brittany, you have a white Mariusz Tchaikovsky jersey?
At home. Yep, from when I was little.
Oh man.
Our dog name was between Ziggy Palfy and Mariusz Tchaikovsky. So we went with Ziggy, but I do have a Tchaikovsky jersey at home.
That's
What's
amazing.
a little off topic here. How many jerseys do you own? Can you rattle off the players whose names you've had on the back of jerseys?
I mean, I when I was little, I asked for them basically every Hanukkah. Between my brother and I, we probably have almost every. I'm Pekka, Yashin, Tchaikovsky, Palfy. I don't even. We have Kenny Janssen. We have. I think we asked for jerseys every Hanukkah for the first 15 years of our lives. So.
You might give DeLuca a run for his money with these jersey counts right
Isles
now.
blog Tom DeLuca, and he's doing like a jersey trade thing. He gets them, he moves them, he sells them. He doesn't like to have one for too long. So, Connor, but why Mariusz Tchaikovsky? I mean, very nice player, but why the white 21 Tchaikovsky jersey?
When I was a kid, I was in Cub Scouts, and they always had Islander game outings, and something me and my dad decided to go to. My first Islander game, I think it was the Islanders versus the Anaheim Ducks. The Islanders got blown out like 6-0, I believe. And the first skater I saw take the ice was Tchaikovsky. And I was just a young kid. My eyes glossed over at my first hockey game, and for some reason just gravitated towards him. Always watched his videos. Always talked about him with my father. My sister had a big crush on him, so me and her would have talks about him. And
so you actually idolize the man that your sister had a crush on.
Yeah, I mean, turn of events, of course, but he was just my favorite Islander, and to this day, I'd still say he's my favorite Islander of all time.
Wow, I got a little teary-eyed there with that story. Thanks, appreciate that. So, Britt, how about you? What's the one Islander-related present you would want this holiday season?
I went to the team store the other day and got myself a fisherman T-shirt and the ugly sweater. So I wouldn't as much. There's nothing in the team store that I necessarily want right now, but I have kind of set a goal for myself that I want to see an Islanders game in every single away arena by the time that I'm 35. So I guess I would ask for tickets to one of those games. And
how many arenas have you been to yet? So what's our starting point? 30 teams in the league. I won't say how many years are left to 35, although I do know the answer. Okay, you could tell everyone. So to this point, how many Islander Road Warrior games have you been at to?
That's why this is a new thing. I've only been to MSG. I've been to an Islanders game at MSG and an Islanders game at the Rock. That's it.
Oh, you're getting there. You're getting there.
I've actually been to one Islander Flyer game in 2001, 2002. They won 2-1, and part of that really great stretch they had in the first year of Laviolette. Well, for me, I'm kind of lost, right? Because I already got my Islanders Yes shirt on, right? So I got the Yes shirt on that you can still buy at Isles blog. Check out for the links there. And just like Brittany, I did picked up the ugly sweater.
All this free promotion right now.
At the team store, that was just a $20 value, Britt. That was a good sale that day for the $20. Now she got the blue one, the unlucky blue one. I don't know the luck of the orange one just yet. I didn't wear it, but these are uglier than the blue ones. The orange ones are definitely uglier than the blue ones.
Orange is far more ugly. It is like traffic cone orange. It's horrible.
So for me, I think the gift I'd want. I haven't gotten an Islander jersey in a long time. It's been a while. Like the last one I have is like the dark navy with the stripes on the right side. The Winter Classic jersey, what they wore again tonight. I think it's a great jersey, and I've said to myself that I wouldn't get another player's name on the back of a jersey, but I think it would be safe to get Tavares' jersey. Right. I mean, I don't have anything to worry about because what happened to me when I was younger, I actually got the old white jerseys after the 92-93 season, and I got a Pierre Turgeon, but it was like the screen print. Like my dad would not pay for the real thing, so we got like the screen print on it. And then he got traded in '95 to the Canadiens, and they actually can take the screen print off, and then they put a Bossy jersey on because they knew I'd have to worry about that. So that's my history. With I have a couple fisherman jerseys for some reason. I got the electric orange one. Did not buy the black one, thankfully. But that's it. So hopefully our viewers and listeners, I'm sure many of you will be getting Islander-related gifts come the end of Hanukkah or Christmas or whatever else you celebrate, and we wish you guys the best. Wrapping it up again, we wish everyone again a very happy holiday season. I'm at Joe Bono at jbono611, Brittany at Apple Cider with 2 R's, and Connor Moore at CM Isles Blog. Guys, this was fun as always, even after a loss. I feel like we were a little down in the dumps, but not too bad. We kept enough emotion into it. We had enough energy, I think.
We rebounded pretty well. I'll say so.
Yeah, we had our battle level was tested, and I think we came out okay. Connor, Brittany, always a pleasure. I'll talk to you guys next week.
See you guys.